there was a time when I'd called myself an abstract painter, and that's what I did. I was purely an abstract painter, and I was making work which had a kind of mineral feel to it. It had a root in that kind of subject matter, but I wasn't directly representing those things. I was inspired by minerals and by strata in the soil, in rocks and such like. Lockdown came along, COVID came along, and I stopped painting because it didn't feel like it was the right thing to do. There was a lot of things to think about, and there was a lot of things to do at home, anyway. And so when I returned to painting a little bit later in 2020, I kind of tried to start making these, what I thought were pure abstract paintings again. And I tried something new, which threw up this feeling of pebbles, basically rocks. And I realised actually I've just been painting rocks for a really long time and calling them abstract paintings. And so acknowledging that I was painting stuff that looked like stuff, I thought, well, okay, I can let sticks in, and I can let leaves in, and I can let anything in. I can do what I want. I'm a painter. I'm not just an abstract painter. And so there's this sort of lightness that came to my making that I've really, really enjoyed. And it's funny, I just think it's funny how we pigeonhole ourselves sometimes, and we set up rules for ourselves. And so the paintings that are on show here are very much about me letting things go and letting things develop as they will, and using paint as best I can, and using the paper as best I can. I'll show you the big one. This is Barricade. Barricade is made in 4 parts. My studio is relatively small. I couldn't make a work like this in the space that I've got, and so it had to be made in four parts. And actually, the first time I saw it in completion was when we put it together here and put it up. I worked hard to make sure it would work, obviously, and I had a sense of what it would be like, but actually seeing the thing as one, first time was here. In short, I make a mess and then I tidy it up. So what you're seeing is a lot of activity which has been kind of tamed, if you like, through masking. And the colour that goes on last is actually the background colour. So the red here is the last thing to happen. The first thing to happen is I start with black, I start with rollers. I don't really use brushes. So there's a lot of kind of quite scrappy roller work. And then I go in with the colour, often quite wet to start with, and put colour on top of colour. I use cards, edges, and plastic edges to apply the colour, because it pulls a very, very, very thin layer onto the paper surface, because this is paper over board. I don't use canvas because paper has a surface. This particular paper has a surface which gives this roughness and comes through. You see the fibre through the paint when you look on a sort of microscopic level, but it breaks up the paint film, and the pigment sits in amongst the fibres, and this is what gives it the look that I'm interested in. And then, so putting colour on top of colour brings obviously new colours, brings new colour relationships. You can put opaque colour on top of transparent colour, and obviously you obliterate it, or you put transparent colour on top of opaque colour, and it brings this whole new thing. And then I'll explore the surface and I'll mask areas, and the areas that you see masked are these rock forms, and obviously the stick forms are masked as well. I apply the background colour, and then I find the thing come to life when I take the masking away.